But if the world doesn't aim to change the regime in Russia, that means even after the war ends, Moscow will still try to destabilize neighboring countries.
This is my video update on this Thursday afternoon, July the 31st, coming to you from Larnaca, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off. Man, it's windy. Let's start things off with Trump going after BRICS, because Trump is going after BRICS. That's right. He never talked much about BRICS when he was campaigning. He even said that BRICS included Spain. Spain was the S in BRICS. Well, since that statement, Trump has now directed all of his energy towards the destruction of BRICS. My guess would be that Lindsey Graham has been whispering all of this BRICS stuff into Trump's ear, and talking about how BRICS is the great threat to the United States, to the U.S. unipolar empire, and to the USD. And so Trump now has to destroy BRICS in order to protect the US dollar. And he's not completely wrong, but I mean, there is some truth to all of that. But the nuance is that BRICS' rise and BRICS' momentum is due to the fact that the United States continues to go after all of the countries in the global majority, continues to threaten them and sanction them and bully them and start all of these destructive wars and weaponize the dollar and weaponize the institutions of the collective West. That is what is leading to the rise in BRICS. It's the weaponization of the USD and the institutions around the US dollar and the reserve currency that has given BRICS its rise. And so what's Trump's answer to all of this? Is to weaponize tariffs now. That's his answer. It's not about weaponizing sanctions anymore. It's about weaponizing tariffs. And that is what he is doing. He believes that if he weaponizes tariffs, then that will lead to the fall of BRICS. And he's completely wronged. What it will do is it will further increase the development and the rise, the power of BRICS. In much the same way that the sanctions over the past couple of years has really given BRICS momentum, the tariff, the weaponization of tariffs, is going to give even more momentum to BRICS. More countries are going to want to join BRICS, and the countries that are already in BRICS or are partner nations of BRICS, well, they're just going to unify now because Trump is really going hard with this tariffs policy, if you even want to call it a policy. This is new, by the way. That's why I'm here, because I was walking over there and I saw that they have just built a skate park, and I guess they're building some more stuff over here. So this is all new, and they have a lot of land to build all kinds of things if they want to here in Larnaca. So Trump yesterday, he posted all kinds of stuff on Truth Social. He talked about India and Russia. India is a dead economy, he said. Russia is a dead economy. He doesn't care about these dead economies either. He said, I don't care about India and Russia's dead economies. He said that he's very upset that India is friends with Russia and that India purchases weapons from Russia. And so Trump is going to tariff India 25%. He also said that he is going to be placing tariffs on Brazil, 50%, because he does not like Lula and Lula's policy towards Bolsonaro. Tariffs are not about the United States reindustrializing, not about bringing industry to the United States. It's not about that. It is now a weapon, a geopolitical weapon. A Trump temper tantrum now is what tariffs have become. I don't like Lula. I don't like what he's doing to Bolsonaro, whatever your opinion of what is happening politically in Brazil. That's not the point here, but Trump is basically saying, because of what Lula is doing to Bolsonaro, I'm going to place 50% tariffs on Brazil. That's the excuse that he's using. Now, the same goes for India. I don't like the fact that India is friends with Russia, even though India has been friends with Russia, and India has a very good relationship with Russia, which goes back decades and decades, man. These two countries, they just get along. What else can you say? Whatever your opinion is of India, whatever your opinion is of Russia, they've always been friends, man. They have always been friends. And you're not going to be able to break that up. But because India is buying weapons from Russia, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that's a good Trump impersonation, huh? I don't like it. and 25% tariffs. Yesterday, I talked about how Scott Bessent basically gave an ultimatum to China: ditch Russia or else 100% tariffs. And China told Bessent to take a hike. India, by the way, they were in D.C. Negotiating with the United States, trying to get to some sort of a trade deal. And it didn't work out well. The Indian delegation, from what I understand, left. They took off. And then Trump posted on Truth Social that he has a deal with Pakistan to develop oil reserves. I didn't know that there were massive oil reserves around Pakistan, but allegedly there are massive oil reserves, according to Trump. Maybe true, maybe not true, who knows? But I don't know. But they're going to develop now these oil reserves. Obviously, this is a way to jab at India, right? Where we're going to tariff you 25%. You guys are buying weapons from Russia. We don't like you anymore. Trump did say that he likes India. I said, I like India, but I don't like India. I don't like what India is doing. So now we're going to partner up with Pakistan, and we're going to develop these massive, huge oil reserves. Never mind the fact that Pakistan has an excellent relationship with China. Actually, Alexander mentioned to me that one of India's largest trading partners, if not India's largest trading partner, is not the United States. India doesn't trade that much with the United States at all. Actually, India has traditionally had a protectionist policy when it comes to trade. That's the way India has always operated. But India's largest trading partner, or one of its largest trading partners, is, take a guess, China. That's right, China. And then Trump announced on Truth Social that he has struck a deal with South Korea. And South Korea is going to purchase $100 billion in U.S. energy and U.S. LNG, which leads me to ask the question: how much U.S. energy and LNG is the U.S. about to sell and export? Because they're going to be giving $750 billion in U.S. energy and LNG to the European Union over 3 years. And now they're going to be giving $100 billion to South Korea as well. I think that Trump is selling a lot more than the capacity of the United States. So a lot of his posts are anger at BRICS, anger at the sovereignty of BRICS, anger that he can't get the BRICS nations to bend at his knee and to worship him like the European vassals. I think a lot of this is about going after BRICS in the belief that if you go after BRICS, then you could possibly defeat Russia, defeat China, stop or slow down the rise of India, marginalize Brazil, all in one go. It's Trump's Hail Mary pass, right? He's about to suffer a big defeat in Ukraine. Trump is going to suffer a big L in Ukraine. It would have been Biden's defeat, but now it's going to be Trump's defeat, and it's going to be a big one. It is going to be a big defeat for Trump, for NATO in Ukraine by Russia, and maybe this is his way of saying, you know what, we're not going to be able to pull off a victory inside of Ukraine, so let's just work in reverse. Let's direct our energy towards BRICS, and if we can break apart BRICS, break apart China and Russia, destroy BRICS, then we'll get the victory in Ukraine. We'll get a victory over China, and that way we can somehow get out of this mess and preserve the United States' unipolar dominance. Anyway, even the New York Times is saying that Trump's 100% tariff threat to BRICS, to the countries that are going to be trading with Russia, that this is not going to work. Even Trump is having doubts that this Hail Mary pass will succeed. It is a Hail Mary pass, right? You are throwing the football from way down there, and you're throwing it into the end zone, and you're hoping that someone on your team somehow catches the football. Very rarely does it happen. The Hail Mary pass that I remember when I was a little kid, very little kid, was Doug Flutie, right? I believe Boston College. The Doug Flutie Hail Mary pass. That's what I remember. That's probably one of the few big game Hail Mary passes that actually worked. Anyway, the New York Times is saying that Trump admits financial penalties on Russia may or may not work. Yeah, even Trump is having doubts about this, but he's put himself in a terrible position by listening to Kellogg and Lindsey Graham, and he continues to listen to Kellogg and Lindsey Graham. He's not listening to Vance and Witkoff. We don't even hear about Vance and Witkoff when it comes to Project Ukraine. He's gone all in with the neocons, all in with Keith Kellogg, and the only hope for him to somehow get out of Project Ukraine, somehow to deliver a defeat to a rising China, a rising India, a defeat to Brazil and to BRICS is to go after all of them at one go with these crazy tariff policies, which have nothing to do with bringing industry back to the United States, or at least very little to do with industry being brought back to the United States. Alexander made a good point in a video that we did on the Duran, which will go up tomorrow on Trump's tariff tantrum, is that by going after India, he's going after China, he's going after India, he's even hurting U.S. companies like Apple, which were thinking that they're going to perhaps move some manufacturing from China to India in order to sidestep some of these tariffs. Well, not so fast, Apple. 25% tariff now for Apple. Anyway, Trump imposes 50% tariff on Brazil. The measure is aimed at addressing the alleged threat Brazil poses to America, according to the U.S. president. Trump punishes India over Russia trade. The U.S. president has announced a 25% levy and additional penalties on New Delhi for its continued partnership with Moscow. And Trump posted on Truth Social in all caps, so you know it's important, "We have a massive trade deficit with India." That's right. And then Trump, as he was complaining about India, he decided to go after Dmitry Medvedev. He decided to come to the aid of Lindsey Graham, to protect Lindsey Graham's honor. Right? That's right. Trump coming to the aid of his golfing buddy, Lindsey Graham. He posted on Truth Social, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the U.S. do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way. And tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia, who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory." That's the threat from Trump. He is entering very dangerous territory. What exactly will Trump do? Nothing. Nothing. He can't do anything. He can't do anything that the Biden administration and the EU has already tried with Russia. They've tried everything with Russia. It has not worked. Project Ukraine is going down. And Trump is going down with it. It is going to be a massive defeat for Trump. It didn't have to be that way. It did not have to be that way. He has let Joe Biden and Sullivan and Blinken and Newland and Austin, he has let them off the freaking hook when it comes to Project Ukraine. Anyway, Medvedev responded to Trump's threat by posting, I believe this is on Telegram, he posted about Trump's threats against me on his personal network Truth Social, which he banned from operating in our country. If a few words from a former Russian president provoke such a nervous reaction from the supposedly mighty president of the United States, then it means Russia is absolutely right and will continue on its chosen path. And as for the talk about the dead economies of India and Russia or entering dangerous territory, let him recall his favorite movies about the Walking Dead and also how dangerous the mythical dead hand can be, with a laughing emoji there. Anyway, I don't know if that's Medvedev's laughing emoji or if the translation of this post on Telegram added the laughing emoji. I don't know, but it's a laughing emoji, everybody. Oh man, Medvedev doesn't give an F about what Trump is saying or Trump's threats. Newt Gingrich also threatened Russia. Newt Gingrich, who's been wrong about he's been wrong about just about everything when it comes to geopolitics. Newt Gingrich, he's awful when it comes to geopolitics. He's not bad when it comes to domestic politics inside the United States, but when it comes to foreign stuff, man, Newt Gingrich is completely lost, man. Do not listen to Newt Gingrich when it comes to foreign policy stuff. He's a neocon. He's a foreign policy neocon. He's a domestic policy. I would say he's an America first type of guy when it comes to domestic policies. I don't know. Anyway, when it comes to foreign policy, Newt Gingrich, he is full neocon. He has threatened Russia. He said, as he was speaking to Fox, that Russia better be careful. Something like Russia better be careful because they haven't seen what we can do to them or what the U.S. is going to do to them, or if the U.S. really goes full into Ukraine, then Russia better look out. I don't even know. Maybe I'll play the video so you guys can hear what Newt Gingrich said, his threat to Russia. All I have to say is that the U.S. is not going to get involved in Project Ukraine directly. If they could have defeated Russia, if the U.S. military could have defeated Russia, if NATO could have defeated Russia inside of Ukraine or anywhere in and around Russia, they would have already put boots on the ground. They would have already tried to fight Russia head on. They know they can't. They know they couldn't defeat Russia, so they used Ukraine as a proxy.
At some point, he's going to have to look at the wall and realize he's not going to win. And the question is, how big a loss does he want to take? And does he agree early, or does he allow the Ukrainians to regain the advantage and allow gradually the Russian people to break up, just because the number of casualties they're going to take if we get serious is going to be terrifying.
Anyway, Canada's PM, Carney, he came out with a statement yesterday, and he said that Canada will recognize Palestine. Following up on Macron and Stammer, Carney said that Canada is ready to recognize a Palestinian state, but there are conditions. There has to be some sort of an election, Carney said. A democratically elected government has to be put in place, and we have to get a ceasefire, and Israel has to agree to this ceasefire. So much like Stammer or Macron, he also put a bunch of conditions for Canada's recognition of Palestine, but we can see the trend. We can see the trend that is forming. Macron, Stammer, Carney, they are now saying that they're going to recognize Palestine. It's just words. It's just words because they're taking no action when it comes to Gaza. But still, it's their way of removing the pressure that they are getting from their own constituents, from their citizens, from their voters, to do something about the situation in Gaza. And so their response is to come up with the recognition of Palestine, because they don't want to take like a concrete action to try and stop the horrific situation in Gaza. So anyway, Trump did not like what Carney announced, and he posted on Truth Social, because all of the United States' foreign policy now is taking place on Truth Social. He posted, wow, Canada has just announced that it is backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. Once again, tariffs are being used as a weapon. It's not about bringing industry back to the United States. It's about using tariffs as a weapon in order to achieve some sort of foreign policy goal. Meanwhile, in Project Ukraine, the Russian military, they launched drones and Iskanders into Kiev. They targeted the airport in Kiev and, from what I understand, military production facilities. And of course, the Ukraine air defenses were unable to deal with the Iskanders and whatever targets they were aiming for, according to the reports that I've seen, the images and the video that I've seen. The targets were successfully hit. And the Russian Ministry of Defense actually announced that they have captured Chasiv Yar as well. The very important strategic town in the Donbass of Chasiv Yar has been fully captured by the Russian military. We've known this for about a month, that the Russian military has captured Chasiv Yar, but usually the Russian military, they take anywhere between a week to 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to announce the capture of a city, a town, a settlement. That's just the way they put out their announcements. They make sure that they fully captured everything in that region, in that settlement, before they announce that it has been captured. So they make sure that they've captured everything, they've secured everything, and then they'll announce that they've captured a city. So we've known about Chasiv Yar for a while, but now we have the official statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense. And this is an important development, that the Russian Ministry of Defense is announcing the capture of Chasiv Yar, the full capture of Chasiv Yar. I think this is a dog park. That's the way it looks to me, huh? What do you guys think? Yeah, this must be a dog park. Oh, here we go. Duh. Duh, duh, duh. Yeah, it's a dog park. All right. Wow, look at the prohibited dogs. Pit bulls. Japanese Tosa, pit bull terrier. It's very windy. Let's see how my audio holds up. So Pokrovsk is falling very fast. Faster than anyone expected. Armchair Warlord posted on X. This isn't an imminent defensive collapse. The AFU's defense in Pokrovsk and Mirnograd is collapsing right now, with all of their supply lines under effective fire, Russian infantry pushing into the city and defending units shattered and disintegrating. Yeah, one of the reasons we have this panic from the collective West and panic from Trump and this Trump tariff tantrum, where he's threatening all of BRICS and threatening Russia and saying how he doesn't care about Russia's dead economy and doesn't care about India's dead economy, and he's upset with India trading with Russia. All of this is coming out because you just have to believe that Trump's advisors are telling him that Pokrovsk is going to collapse, man, and it's gonna be very bad for the military situation in Ukraine. And President Trump, you decided to stick with Kellogg and Lindsey Graham, so you're gonna take the fall when it comes to Project Ukraine. And Trump is probably saying, "Crap, crap. Why did I listen to these guys? But I'll still listen to them. Why did I listen to these guys? But I'll still listen to them." Oh boy, the daughter. I believe this is the daughter, Megan Mobbs. Yeah, I think she's the daughter of Keith Kellogg. No conflict of interest. Keith Kellogg being the neutral mediator of Project Ukraine, Trump's neutral envoy. Anyway, the daughter of Kellogg posted on X, "Kiev is under massive drone attack. Make no mistake, this is Putin's response to President Trump's deadline. He is testing American resolve and strength. We must not be found wanting." No conflict of interest there. Oh boy. Yeah. Good choice of an envoy, U.S. President Trump. Keith Kellogg, real good choice. Anyway, we have Zelensky coup rumors that are circulating. There's a rumor which says that that NABU, the anti-corruption agency, was in the middle of investigating Zelensky and his secret confidant, a man who goes by the name of, oh my God, I forgot his name. Mirnovich or Mirno something or Mikovic, I don't know. It begins with an M. Anyway, this guy is Zelensky's secret buddy, right? And he used to be a secret go-between when Zelensky was dealing with Kolomoisky back in the day, when Zelensky was working for Kolomoisky and he was an actor in Servant for the People. And whenever they were talking about money and the funneling of money and divvying up profits, it was this guy that was the go-between for Zelensky and Kolomoisky. So Zelensky would tell this guy, and then this guy would tell Kolomoisky, and that's how they dealt with money, and that's how they hid money and all of this stuff. Anyway, as Kolomoisky then was arrested, and they went after Kolomoisky. Zelensky went after Kolomoisky. The Collective West went after Kolomoisky. This guy, whose name begins with an M, he ended up cozying up more to Zelensky, and he ended up being the money man. This is all rumors, by the way. I haven't really confirmed this. These are just some of the rumors that are coming out of Ukraine. He cozied up to Zelensky. And the rumor is that NABU, the anti-corruption agency, they were investigating this whole thing, and they were investigating this guy who was the guy that understood all of the money flows, and that's one of the reasons that Zelensky went after NABU. Once again, these are just rumors, but it's indicative of the chaos that is in the Zelensky government at the moment. It shows that there's a lot of chaos, a lot of uncertainty. Everyone's turning on each other. And that's what this shows. It's not a good sign if you're the Green Goblin. And you have another rumor, which is being floated out by the Russian foreign intel. So I don't buy into this rumor. I think that Russia's just trying to stir the pot here, trying to create more fear and uncertainty and doubts in Kiev. But anyway, they posted this report, which claims that there was a secret meeting in an alpine resort. And attending this secret meeting was Yermak, Zaluzhny, Budanov, and US and UK representatives. And they all met in this secret alpine resort, and they decided that Zelensky must go. And they all agreed that Zelensky has to be replaced, and that Zaluzhny was going to be his replacement. And Alexander noted in his video update yesterday, he doesn't believe in this Russian report either. I don't believe in it either, because all three of those guys, they hate each other. You start from there. Budanov, Yermak, and Zaluzhny, they despise each other. They don't like each other, so I doubt they got together in some alpine resort and decided that Zelensky has to go and Zaluzhny's going to be his replacement. The terms of the deal, allegedly, were that agreeing to replace Zelensky, Yermak, and Budanov would be able to keep their positions as Zaluzhny would be the president. I don't buy it, man. I do not buy this story. But once again, it's indicative of the doubts and the chaos that we now see in Kiev. Yeah. Can you imagine if it was a true story? If this thing was actually true? Maybe it is, but I don't think it is. But can you imagine if it was? Andre, why you betray me? We were like brothers, Andre, and you betray me. I gave you everything. Podolyak is loyal to me. Yes, Mr. President, I am very loyal to you. Oh boy. So Zelensky was speaking in, I believe in Finland, at an OSCE conference. And he said that Putin needs to be regime changed. That's what he said. As he was speaking in the beginning, the audio was off. So as he was talking about regime changing Putin, no one heard him. No one heard the Green Goblin. And then they fixed the audio. Anyway, yeah, he's saying that Putin needs to be regime changed. which is Zelensky's way of saying, oh crap, I'm about to be regime changed, so please regime change Putin before you regime change me. Oh, Zelensky is panicking, man. He's getting very, very desperate. Very desperate. Anyway, in some other news, Merz, he is militarizing Germany for a 2027 smash with Russia. That's right, according to Reuters. Germany prepares huge orders for jets, armored vehicles, sources say. Yeah, so Germany is going to use money, whatever money it has, and loans. They're going to be getting a lot of this money on loans. They're going to be borrowing money. And they're going to go into debt in order to purchase a ton of weapons, because the goal, according to Merz, is to get enough weapons and build a big enough military that they can go to war with Russia, right? And Merz was actually giving a Q&A. He had his iPad, his tablet with him, and he gave this media-controlled Q&A with German citizens. And I believe one of the German citizens asked Merz, why are we spending so much on military and not on health and education and stuff like that, and infrastructure, whatever. And Merz's answer was that we have to spend it on military because my number one goal is to protect Germany from the big bad Putin. So we're going to spend everything we have, and we're going to borrow money and go into debt in order to build a big military so that we can eventually go to war with Russia. By the way, German car sales came in, and they're pretty bad. They're very bad. BMW's car sales came in, and I believe that the company's profits went down by, by 29%. 29%. The company's profits fell over the 6-month period of the current year compared to the same period last year, down to 4 billion euros, according to a BMW statement. All right. So things are not looking good for German industry, but who cares about German industry if you're BlackRock Merz? It's all about the MIC. It's all about going to war with Russia. And before we get to Clown World from Merz, we go to Macron. And Macron, you know you're in Cyprus when you got the cat water, the cat food, everything for the cats. Cyprus is all about taking care of the cats, our friends on the island. And Macron, this is great. This should actually be a Clown World. From Politico, Macron, EU wasn't feared enough by Trump to get good trade deal. The French president also insisted there's still time to negotiate. So Macron has finally broken his silence about the EU-US trade deal. He hasn't said anything since Ursula struck that amazing trade deal with Trump, the great negotiator that is Ursula van der Math. Anyway, Macron has remained silent until now. And he is saying that the EU just wasn't feared enough. It wasn't tough enough, and it wasn't feared enough. Quote, we need to be feared. We weren't feared enough, Macron told ministers at the weekly cabinet meeting Wednesday, said a French official close to Macron, who was granted anonymity, as it is often customary practice. Yeah, Macron saying that we weren't feared enough. This is the guy that was slapped around by his wife on a plane, saying that the EU was not feared enough. We have to be feared, according to Macron. Okay, tough guy. Okay, tough guy, Macron. Anyway, let's do some clown rules, and we can wrap this video up. So Trump was giving an interview. I don't know to who this journalist was. I think it's a journalist from the New York Post. Forgot her name. But anyway, he was giving this interview, a very softball interview, by the way. Miranda something. I'm forgetting names today. And he was asked about Russia and Ukraine and Melania And Trump said that he speaks to Putin. He used to get along with Putin. Of course, not now. Now he's not getting along with Putin and all of this stuff, right? He doesn't understand why he's not getting along with Putin. I mean, I'm just fueling and funding a proxy war against Russia, but I'm not getting along with Putin. We're the neutral mediators, after all, according to Trump. Anyway, he said that Melania also used to get along with Putin. You see, we know him. I get along with him very well. And he said Melania knows him as well. Foreign policy via Truth Social and via Melania Trump. That is Trump's foreign policy, at least when it comes to Russia. Oh, man. All the construction over there on Mackenzie. So that's Clown World number 1. Clown World number 2 is Trump saying that he's going to investigate Nancy Pelosi for insider trading. That's right. I agree with this. Absolutely. Most of Congress, I guess, with the exception of who? Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, I don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, but most of Congress should probably be investigated for insider trading. I don't know. Seems like they do very, very well when it comes to picking stocks. I don't know why that is. Maybe they're just very astute financial people. Stock pickers. They're very astute stock pickers, maybe. Who knows? But he said that Nancy Pelosi needs to be investigated. And my reply is that while you're investigating Nancy Pelosi, perhaps you should investigate the people behind the Trump meme coin. I don't know. Maybe investigate those guys that put out a meme coin one day before the presidential inauguration and made a boatload of money. Oh, boy. And finally, Kamala Harris announced that she will not be running for the governor of California. Damn it. Kamala Harris is not going to be seeking the governorship of California. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala Harris was offered a TV show for MSNBC. That would be my guess. Kamala Harris, MSNBC talk show. I don't know what the name would be, but yeah, that's what I think is going to be the outcome to all of this. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on X. We are on Rumble. And go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch, like what I'm wearing in this video update. There is a link in the description box down below. Take care.